Hello!
And welcome to Hair Loss Goss.
With me, James.
And me, Sally. And today we've got a guest on, which is Michael. So Michael is one of our clients from Cheshire Hair Clinic. He has 2 salons and we wanted to bring him on and ask him a few questions.
Yeah, welcome. Don't be nervous. It's fine. It's fine. It's still fairly new for us as well. And we've only just released our first episode, haven't we? Because we pre-record a lot of these. So we've just fresh off the back of just looking and analysing at all the video and going, oh God, I look like a puppet, like so wooden. And anyway, for the benefit of everyone that isn't watching this on YouTube, we're trying to set up a new situation here where we've got space to have a guest, and Michael's our first guest on Hair Loss Goss, so welcome.
Thanks.
We wanted to bring you on because we knew you had a story about your own hair loss, what had kind of happened in the past, and the different options that you went and kind of explored. Can you just talk us through about kind of what happened when you first started losing your hair? What age were you, and kind of start from there, really?
I think I was probably about 19, I would say, when I started noticing it going thin.
Yeah.
But then obviously I was like training to be a hairdresser, and I could cover it up quite well. Use good products, things like that. I used to always wear it curly, and then.
Did you use the hair fibres?
Yeah, I tried hair fibres.
God, they're so messy, aren't they?
I did run down your face if it was raining, and tried all sorts.
Is that what they do?
Yeah.
So if you're out in the rain, you just get.
It's terrible. They work well if you don't use a lot of them, but as your hair kind of thins more, your natural response is to put more in.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have as much stick then to the hair because there's not as much hair. So wind or rain and stuff like that.
It goes all over when you put it on. It's not it doesn't look like a hairline.
Yeah.
It's probably good for the middle bit, I would say.
Yeah.
That
crown.
And then I ended up getting a hair transplant, and I was happy with it, I would say.
Did it hurt?
Yeah.
Where did you go for it? Was it in the UK? Or?
Yeah, it was in Manchester, the Bridgewater Hospital.
Right, okay.
But I didn't really know much about it. I bought one on Groupon. My boyfriend.
You could buy a hair transplant on Groupon.
So wow. I'd been for loads of consultations, and I knew how many grafts I needed, which was 1,700. So you could buy it on Groupon. My boyfriend had said to me, "Oh look, it's on Groupon. It's something to do with Harley Street, but it's based in Manchester." So I was like, "All right." So I did it. Paid this £1,700 it was. I went for the consultation. He was like, "No, you need 9,000 grafts." And I was like,
"Whoa.
I don't. I've been for loads of consultations." And then he was
grafts, where did you have yours?
So I had the strip, so not the individual one, and then I had it
so
just
they
in
take
the front, like a wedge of your skin,
They take a wedge of the skin and then they cut that up, don't they, into sections?
And take the follicles out.
They take the follicles out and then they place it into the area that you need it to go in.
How long did that take?
About 8 hours.
Yeah.
So you have to shave all your head off first, don't you?
No, so they shaved the back bit,
and
they didn't shave the top bit, they just kind of pushed it back.
So did you just have the transplant around the
here
front?
and here,
oh God.
So in the kind of the widow's peak area.
And then I think I had a little bit across there as well. It's still there now, you'll probably see when you do my hair. It's and that was a problem. So when I had it done, I was happy with it. It's never as thick as what you would want, but obviously it's better than what I had.
What was the time between you having the procedure done and you seeing the benefit of that hair kind of growing?
I'd probably say it takes about a year.
Because it kind of the follicles when they're transplanted, they shed, don't they? And then they regrow back.
And you can't. I was working in a college at the time, and obviously you've got all these scabs on your head, and it's really itchy. Your face swells up.
Yeah, it does. It's like you get a massive forehead, don't you?
That's the saline they inject. Apparently, then the next day when you get up and stuff, it travels down your face, makes your face swell.
Wow.
Then you've got scabbing, then you've got to go for the scabs to be removed, and it was just a lot.
You can't hide away from having a hair transplant though, can you?
No.
Everybody will know if you've had a hair transplant because of that stage, walking around with scabs on your head.
It's definitely a part of the process which I don't think a lot of guys maybe take into consideration. And what I would say is that there's a multitude of different ways of doing hair transplants these days, and your method is probably one of the more traditional methods that they would use. And you know, you go to Turkey, I would say 9 times out of 10, that's the procedure that you would have. And there are more kind of like non-invasive methods now that aren't as painful. And we're going to try and explore those a bit later on in the series, I think.
Did you have to take medication?
No.
You didn't?
No. But I know now that they do like encourage you to take like different vitamins and hair supplements and things to encourage the new follicles to grow thicker and more.
A client told me the other day that apparently
Finasteride.
That's it. Is in a spray form now.
Yeah.
Not just a tablet.
Yeah, so it's topical rather than you're ingesting it.
I think there's loads of like different things that you can do once you've had a hair transplant or to stop your hair going thinner. But when I had mine probably about 12 years ago, it wasn't as much of a big thing in the UK. Like not a lot of people had it, and there wasn't many clinics.
Yeah.
So now, what brought you to the decision to have a hair system after you've had a hair transplant?
So it was either have another hair transplant and then fill out the middle bit that had then
Because you
got
had
fit.
receded further back, yeah.
So the hair transplant had stayed, but then the middle bit had gone thinner.
And what was the time frame between that?
About 11 years.
Right, okay.
So it was a long time.
Yeah, fair, yeah.
And I could hide it quite well. I could hide it quite well, and it looked okay. But if you'd go out in the rain or the wind, and I didn't have loads of hairspray on, and my hair would go.
So you were kind of resorting back to using lots of products because, and that,
And that's the thing. You back to that coping strategy again. And sometimes people don't. I don't know if you were told at the time, but when you first have your hair transplant done at a younger age, sometimes people don't tell you that actually you may have to go back and have that done again because you're receding behind the area that you've transplanted.
I do think I was too young to have it.
Yeah.
And I didn't have enough information.
What age were you again?
About 22, I think.
See, I've had clients now come and they said they wouldn't be able to get hair transplant until they was 26. So they might have changed the age now because of that. I don't know.
It might be a business by business kind of decision.
Possibly,
but I think the older you are, the more mature you are, and the better the decision making. But it's all about information, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast is to get as much information out there as possible. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything surrounding hair loss. So yeah. So
you have a hair system now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you say was different about having a hair transplant and now having a hair system? Like, what made you make that decision?
Well, I and ahed for a year.
Did you?
Yeah. I'd been for a couple of different consultations, and there was always something that kind of put a little bit of doubt in my mind, whether it was one of the places that I went to was a barber shop that closed and then did hair systems in the evening. And I was trying to like match my colour up, and obviously being a hairdresser, I was thinking that's not the right colour. But I didn't want to say, no, that's not the right colour. Can I have the colouring? So that put me off going there. And then I went to. It's funny because the first place I went to, I won't name them. Like I went and I didn't get a good vibe. And then I ended up having my first system from them. Even though I didn't get a good vibe, I kept thinking, well, it's kind of the best out of a bad bunch. And I was happy with the first system. I didn't like the hair. It was too thick and the colour wasn't brilliant. And again, I didn't really get loads of information about colour fade, products that I could use to stop that. And then when I went on holiday, it was a nightmare because again, I didn't have the information that I needed. I'd found some stuff online and I'd brought loads of products with me, like good conditioner and...
Are you meaning more like if you went in the pool because the hair would dry out and the sun is going to make the hair system,
And I think I come straight to you after my holiday to the Maldives, and it had lifted up at the back, and I was in the bathroom trying to do it like this, and my partner was like, I'll do it, and he goes like this with the glue, and the lid comes off the glue, and it just went all over me.
Oh no.
So I was like, just going mad in the bathroom. Anyway, it was all right, and then I came back, and the place where I was going couldn't get me in any sooner, and then I ended up coming to see Sally then, didn't I?
And then we designed you one, didn't we?
Yeah, and I had to order a new system.
Yeah, but just going back a couple of steps when you were saying, well, I didn't really have as much information as I should have had, or I didn't do as much research maybe. down to how you're feeling, or you just felt pressured in that time, sat in the chair to get a system, even though you knew it wasn't the right colour. I think nowadays that the industry has definitely moved on, especially in hair systems, where I feel like, although it's not regulated, it's definitely going that way. And there are definite hair system specialists that are focused in making sure that it's done in the right and proper way, and it's not just about sticking it on your head and then shoving it out the door and getting the next person in as soon as possible.
And I think when you've not got options available, and you don't necessarily know about options, you kind of stuck with what you've got in front of you. Whereas if there was more information out there and people could make more informed choices about, because if a lady wants to go and get a hair colour and cut, there's 10 salons on each high street, and they all do the same thing.
Yeah.
Whereas with hair systems, it's not somewhere that you can just walk into a town centre and think, oh, I've got a choice of 3. It's finding one that's local to you, and then it's not only that, it's like finding one that's going to work around your work schedule, and be happy with the service as well. That's another thing.
Yeah. And how have you found living with a hair system now?
I think in the beginning it was a little bit of a change and getting used to it. Like, I used to wash my hair every single night because I'd had that much product in the day, and then to not be able to wash my hair every night is different, and having more hair as well. I think, and it's just, I think you learn, like now I'm nearly a year in, and I think I kind of know what I'm doing with it, and I am happy with it. But in the beginning, I think you just have to learn your own, what works for you.
Yeah, you need to find your right style for you, like what you like, and if you like it front, or do you like it at the back, like it to the side. So many people have their first systems, and then the next ones are never the same.
I was talking to another client the other day, and he was saying that he's been a similar amount of time, about a year with us, and hadn't had a system before. He had a system before, but again had a bad experience, so it had come to us. We get a lot of those, don't we? It's good. Well, I take it as a massive compliment. Anyway, he's now on his kind of 3rd system, I would say. He's quite OCD, and he's quite nervous about how he looks, even though you look at him and go, that's an amazing system, and you would never, ever, ever tell he really is focused on that. But even he said to me the other day when I had a chat with him on the phone, how much more relaxed and comfortable and how in the groove he's got with it now. So he's like, I know when I need to wash it, I know when I need to style it and how to style it, and I had to brush it. You know, when you don't have any hair and then you have lots of hair on your head, it's a big change, isn't it? You look in the mirror and you're like, oh, bloody hell, actually, I've got to do something with this now.
So, could you live without one now?
I was having this conversation the other day, and I can't remember who it was with, and it was the client that I'd recommended to you that's not had his yet. And he was saying, like, what would you do if you couldn't have it anymore, or you didn't want it? And I said, I'd have to just live in a hat, because I've never, other than you, I've never had it off in front of anybody.
Yeah.
Like, not even my partner.
Have you not?
No, not fully off.
Yeah.
And not for any reason because I'm bothered what anybody else thinks. I just think that's for me, like...
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Don't know.
I take it off at home all the time. And my youngest came in the other day, she went, oh, the monk is in the house. This message just like, here, nothing on top. Like, yeah, cheers, thanks very much.
It's not a nice sight when you've got...
It's not. And I go to bed and my husband's like... But you're right.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's a monk in the house. But it is a personal thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a choice. You don't have to do that. The thing is, it lives with you. It's not like a wig or a toupee where it just clips in. It's bonded to your scalp, so it's not going anywhere unless you want it to.
Well, I carry in my bag, my work bag.
So cute.
I have. So obviously, I have all my work stuff anyway. But I always have hair tape, hair glue, the scalp.
Perfect.
Little clips. It comes in. You're all prepped, aren't you?
Because my biggest fear is that I'm like, it lifts off when I'm out and I haven't got anything to stick it back down to.
It won't do that, but if it makes you feel better having security of having your tapes and your glue and your clips and everything in your bag, then you're all good to go, aren't you?
It does move. And a cap as well. Just in case.
Yeah. And, okay, so you've got the pros of a hair system. Are there any cons in your mind in terms of, your experience living with it day to day?
What would make you get rid of it? What would make you go, I've had enough?
I think going on holiday, like with a hair system, is a lot different. Like, you have to do a lot more.
Somewhere hot, I guess you're talking about.
Yeah. So I went away twice this year with a hair system on, and each time it was desperate to be done when I came back, and I didn't realise fully how much it would change, like with the weather and the humidity.
You just bring me. If you just bring me, I'll do it for you. I'll go on holiday. I literally won't. I won't bother you. I'll just sit on the sunbed over there.
Some baggage.
And then when it feels like it needs to come off, I'll take it off.
Well, yeah, that's what I'd need. But
Yeah.
it's not unmanageable on holiday. I just think, again, it's just learning. Like, my first holiday was a disaster with it. My second holiday was loads better. It was literally the last day that I thought, no, I need to do it. And I landed the next morning, and then I came straight to the salon and had it refitted. So I think it's just planning. And with work, I have to plan my appointments so that I can be free at work to come out and have my hair done. But I can't go over 3 weeks. So that would probably be a con.
We're very organised with that, though, aren't
Yeah.
we? We kind of like do 10 in advance.
Yeah,
so
block
we know.
booking's always good.
Yeah,
with
so
hair
we can
systems.
sync our diaries together.
Yeah.
Make sure you've got your next few appointments already booked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not like a haircut. Like, I'll have my haircut in between, but if I don't have it cut, I'm not really bothered. But it's like, no, I have to come on that day and I have to have it done, because even that extra week would make a massive difference.
It does. Also depends on your activity level. If you're out going to the gym, or you go swimming a lot, or in the sauna or whatever, you know, all that heat, that cycling of adhesive where it's going hot and it's uncuring and then getting cooler and then curing again. You go through that cycle too many times, and then you know, you're going to run into problems. So it's all about working out the right refit time for you.
Yeah.
Takes time as well.
Does.
I think you do have to have a hair system for a while to get into the sync of everything, and it not to be so overwhelming, because I think at first it can be quite overwhelming with putting all the spraying conditioners, to then like knowing what time your refit is, to then looking after the hair, knowing when to change it. Like it's not just a simple, I've had it on for a month and that's it.
No.
I think even like, if I struggled with it being a hairdresser for so long, like if somebody's got no like experience in that industry, it's going to be an even bigger change for them, because most guys don't use any products on the hair. You know, they just use whatever shampoo's in the bathroom, whereas you've really got to make sure that you use good product.
And this is why we give them, talking Cheshire Hair Clinic specifically, where we give them that aftercare guide, which has all that kind of information on there.
I think it's so important
It's
to
so
look
important
back at.
because a lot of guys, like you say, they're used to not having hair at all and going in the shower and going, done. Within 2 minutes, to then having a lot of hair and going, actually, I've got to style this, I've got to wash it, I've got to maintain it and make sure it looks good.
I've had
It's
to,
a big
I've had
learning
to
curve.
teach guys how to use a hairdryer.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
One guy was like, I don't even know how to hold it. I'm like, well, let's start from the basics.
yeah, but you do need that, and you need that kind of place where you can offer that, get that support, rather than just going somewhere where you feel like, oh, I just want hair, stick it on my head, and then I'll deal with it later. You know.
I was just going to say, I went one person that I knew that did hair systems that I messaged before I came to Cheshire Hair Clinic about having a refit when I come back off holiday. They told me to take my system off, wash it, dry it, and turn up on the night with just my hair system, and they would just stick it on. And I thought, that is definitely not what I want. Like, I need somebody to take it off. Like, they should be making sure it's had the right shampoo and conditioner on it, my scalp's been cleansed, things like that. And I think that's the difference between, like, somebody that's got a passion for it and wants to make sure it's right, and then somebody that's kind of just doing it because it's an extra service to add into the salon.
Absolutely.
So you've had both. You've had a hair transplant and you've had a hair system. The both pros and the cons for each. But would you say hair system's better?
Yeah, I think I made the right choice having a hair system.
For you,
For
right
me,
now?
I don't want a hair transplant again. I thought it was really uncomfortable to have done and painful at times. The recovery process wasn't enjoyable. And you're not guaranteed the results, whereas once you get your hair system stuck on and it's done, whereas there's a chance that they can fail hair systems as well. Sorry, not hair systems, hair transplants. Or they can't, sometimes they don't look natural. You do see a lot of disasters with it. And because it's surgical as well, it's not just as easy to, I don't quite like this hair system, I'll take it off and put another one on. If you've had it done, you've had it done.
Exactly. And you're in this industry as well, so you know how important it is to make people feel good about themselves and to feel supported and guided through. And for you to kind of make your decision to come to CHC and have that done is great for us. We really really appreciate it.
I love you being my client.
Oh.
Well, thank you very much for coming and answering our questions.
Yeah, thank you,
No
Michael.
problem.
It's
Thank
great
you.
to see you. And look forward to our next episode. I don't know what we're going to talk about, actually. We're pre-recording a lot of these before Christmas. So we're not going to talk a lot about Christmas just in case these come out in February or something. So anyway, Merry Christmas and we'll speak to you soon.
See ya.
See you,
Bye.